Great, perfect. All right, Mike, you can just take it away for game 3.
Thank you so much, Nat. We do go into a game number 3, but we could have.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 10 miles separating us, but what isn't separating us is this game. It's tying us in together, Mike. Interesting drafts. We're not going with anything extreme from either end now. No mid snaps, no safe lane Pudge, no safe lane Dawnbreakers, just probably the most standard draft we've seen so far. So we are getting all chat, and I have no clue what Dreamocel is saying, unfortunately enough. My Indonesian doesn't go that deep, although FBZ is saying most Kescu for that reason. Give the guy a break. He's retired, isn't he? Come on,
what
guys.
is Kescu doing now?
I'm not sure. Last I heard from Gary, he plays some other game, but he's also just fully retired. He has businesses. So he took the Tim's route, has some businesses up.
Oh, very good, very good. Very good to see he's a business owner. Hopefully we don't have to... I think I know what other games you're talking about, John. We're not going to bring up the names of those other games.
No.
If you can call them games. Oh, they were games when you consider the Valve versions, but then, you know, another company that tend to copycat. What is it, John? Are you going to defend the other company?
No, I'm just saying, you know, let people have their fun at least.
No, I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm simply implying that one company came out with the original idea, and then the other company copied the original idea.
That's
what I'm saying. You can still have fun. I won't have fun because I refuse. Screw that. Boom Esports. They'll be able to get the banner in up at top. It's going to be split anyway, though. No, 3-for-1 trade on the bounties. Boom Esports do get away with 3. They'll have to settle for only 1 on the side of NGXC. What lane do we start with, Jonathan? How about the top lane, shall we? Mizu and Jhocam going to be there with Skem on the Wyvern and, of course, Jackie on the TB. Interesting kind of lane matchup here between Jhocam and Mizu against these two. John, I'm personally thinking Wyvern's very strong in the meta right now, but what do you think?
Yeah, it works out really well. It gives you lane healing if need be. It's really great at harassing out. In this lane, it's actually pretty nice. You saw Mizu kind of dropped low on HP, around half HP just from that one Arctic burn, and that is something that stays relevant here. Mizu laning presence of that Night Stalker is amazing. You can just see him getting bullied out. Jhocam can't stop it.
It's just so strong. Like, you get this Arctic burn, you just harass the crap out of the offlane at level 1, and then you just make their life a living hell after. Those Skem, they're actually going to pull the creep wave away and bring it towards Jhocam, so now the River's our lane. Here we are. Welcome to the new laning stage here between Skem and Jhocam, as Jhocam is going to just throw his tree away at Skem. Wyvern popping a fair bit of damage. Luckily has RGBs though, Jonathan, so the Wyvern's going to be just fine.
Yeah, true gamer mode there. Still allows us a little bit of a swing around the map. Yeah, the harassment's still there though. Like, Mizu still can't really deal with that lane, just because the percent burn from Arctic Burn is massive against his strength here, and that's a constant issue. This is not just something that will hurt them in the laning phase. As the game scales on, that Arctic Burn will always be something that Mizu and Jhocam will have to watch out for. Even Dreamocel will have to watch out for on the Morphling as well if he does Strength Morph. It's not the best of times for the Morphling, as we do get a bit of a pause. Hotkey issues for Dreamocel, of course, as you know, he's playing the Morphling. Maybe he has some custom mapping to do on his DPC there in the boot camp, but that allows us to maybe take a peek at the other lanes. Down bot, you know, FBZ along with him, so they do still get that Mirana Kunkka lane early on with the arrow combos. You have the save from Boombui down the line with Nightmare, so it's not the worst thing in the world for Dreamocel to play into. It's not the safest lane in the world for the Morphling though. Kunkka has a lot of presence there. Just play with Tidebringer when the Morphling wants to farm fully Agi'd up, and you can punish, and there's not too much you can do with Bane to stop that. Look at him, it's just constantly plinking away, zoning out Boombui, preventing any sort of ways of going on top of FBZ and stopping that farm, and Dreamocel's going to have to get a lot of regen in this lane to stay in here.
Oh, absolutely. Something that he can't rely on his POS 5 to do these days, Jonathan. These POS 1s got to stop asking for salves from their POS 5 supports. As well, Boomboy, you're going to have to fight Tim's here, this small camp, and well, it's getting split up. Boomboy gets the most of it, so nice for him. Goes over onto the Wyvern. Skem going to get first blood away here to Jhocam, who just chases him down forever. Eventually the Tiny able to get enough damage off, and well, that's a big pick up there for Jhocam.
And that is one thing that the Winter Wyvern can't deal with too well. Jhocam has that early Windblaze start, so you can run down, just keep the right-click damage going with the tree grab. They do find a better trade by cleaning up Dreamocel down bot, though. So it goes back to that regen. Was very low, no way to heal up. The constant Tidebringers are starting to pile up. The waves being shoved in. Not a comfy lane for the Morph, and yeah, you just don't see a way for Boomboy to make that easier every single time. FBZ right-clicks, you're just taking hits and you can't trade.
Yeah, absolutely. FBZ, the pos 3 Kunkka, like not something we get to see very often from Boom, but certainly can flex it very, very nicely here between the 3 cores of Boom Esports, and so far it does pay off. Of course, Tim's on that Mirana. We always talk about the sniper himself. He's does tend to go for a roam once he's secured the lane for his pos 3, but it looks like he is going to come back into the bot lane, what he can find. Meanwhile, that mid lane really heating up between Yopaj and AlaCrity, but nobody dropping quite yet between the two. AlaCrity is going to just back his way out of the puck and give himself a bit of a reset, but that's going to leave Yopaj in the mid lane on his own to just keep that level higher than the puck. And we'll be able to find another water rune. In fact, he might even find two. But it does seem like Jhocam is going to be around to at least deny one of them away himself.
A little bit of a slower start from the lanes here for NGX. Boom just finding that earlier grip and laning. They have strong side lanes to play with. A mid-match for Yopaj, very playable for the Void Spirit up against the puck. We're already seeing that advantage build up. Every single lane for Boom already ahead in the CS, so you're not doing much here from NGX to slow down Boom and their build-up. Like Jackie's having a free time, already has a Wraith Band going to the casual Basilius for some more mana to play with and a little bit more armor.
Arrow. Very, very nice arrow there from Tim's. Going to land right onto the Bane, and that's going to be probably another kill to go the way of FBZ. He does heal up a little bit with the Fairy Fire. Boombui actually with a very nice Nightmare right onto FBZ, blocking the way for Tim's as well. Tim's could have leaped over if he really wanted to, but won't bother trying underneath that tier 1 tower. And I mean, the Bane is able to get himself up nice and safely. Won't even pop a salve though, just going to go for the reset back at the fountain.
Yep, allows you to maybe TP in mid, refill AlaCrity's bottle before the 6-minute mark and start to contest that as well. And that's probably the best way to play this lane for NGX. Just take the aggression off of Dreamocel, get all the attention onto yourself, ensure your Morphling can try to farm and keep up. It's still a pretty hard lane for Dreamocel. In comparison, Jackie has almost a free time up top. It is at least the first nighttime now for the Night Stalker, so you have a little bit more presence, but that doesn't help Dreamocel's case. Level 4 in the Morph, level 5 already for FBZ. Once that boat threat is up, you don't feel too safe with the Morph. It's just not something that you can really deal with. Boombui actually does opt to just head back bot, so not going to be around for the mid. At the least, Jhocam setting up for the top rune. So they've got some presence to prevent Yopaj from just snowballing out of control. Does have his level 6, but so does AlaCrity. There is a Dream Coil play you can do with a toss back. You can try to break the coil and get aggressive. Yopaj, though, seems aware that something's up here.
Oh, Skem. Yeah, caught out here on the Wyvern. Jhocam with a toss back is going to break the coil onto that Wyvern. It's Skem. That's how he tries to find a way out of this one. Well, the answer is he just won't. He does go down, but JACKBOYS actually going to try and dive in. See if he can catch out this puck and snipe him down as AlaCrity. Dropping very low now, might just go down. But he does orb away just in the nick of time. Boombui is going to show up on the Bane to try and help out. Back in onto that Mirana with the silence. So Tim's Fairy fires back with the arrow. Is going to land onto the Tiny. The orb not going to connect Tim's. Still on the run, but eventually should go down and does.
My gratitude.
NGXC just trying everything to make sure AlaCrity does not drop, and they make it happen.
Find the kills they needed. They got a regen, not the most value out for AlaCrity, so already out of bottle charges. Yopaj still building up the level lead, but you are kind of setting up for your puck to at least build up initially. It takes a lot of resources onto the mid. You're leaving your side lanes exposed from NGX. FBZ still has a bit of a great time here. The top lane is fairly free for Jackie to still play that farm game.
In bot lane, Arrow gonna land perfectly with the X-Pack. Nightmare gonna buy a bit of time here for Dreamocel to try and walk his way out. They don't bother throwing the boat out onto the Morphling. They will go onto the tier 1 bottom tower. Meanwhile, mid lane, Yopaj, very, very deep behind the tier 1, is gonna get punished as Jhocam was still around on the Tiny. AlaCrity giving the wall played over, and another kill to go the way of the puck. Yopaj ends up going down in the mid Void Spirit.
Slap for a spec up down. Dreamocel not out of danger.
Certainly isn't. The boat will fly in, but he's got the strength morph up. He's going to be just fine to walk his way out as Boom continue pressuring that bottom tier 1 tower. They've still got the siege creep available. They will even clip it up just to make sure they can get this, and they will. FBZ able to take the final hit on the tower. Dreamocel will be forced to walk out of there, and well, he's still going pretty well for Boom, even though the mid lane has not really panned out in their favor.
Yeah, it's 4-1 on the kill board, but 3k lead for Boom. Their lanes and the sides are just going phenomenally well. This is the freest game that I've seen Jackie get yet. Number 2 in net worth, FBZ number 1 on a really great matchup for the Kunkka. Building up already at double brace your phase, does a lot of damage, has a lot of durability. And they're playing around that fact really well. They're just constantly pressuring Dreamocel. He can't leave the bot lane. He doesn't have the top open for himself to farm. So he's just under constant pressure. This is a much slower start for your Morphling, way behind in comparison to Jackie. All the cores of NGX just not having the best of starts outside of AlaCrity. They're going to have to try to build their momentum from that puck. Get the aggression going, get that early Witchblade and Blink, start to play with some combinations with maybe the toss back on the coil and keep that pressure. You have to find a way to stop Jackie farming though. None of their movements have been hooking up top. And as long as the Terrorblade farms, no matter what else happens on the map, Boom is still happy.
Yopaj gonna rotate over top lane. Nice arrow there from Tim's, connecting onto the Tiny this time around as Yopaj trying to find a way to Astral Step in. Won't bother trying in the end. They didn't have Metamorphosis up, so it doesn't seem like they want to bother trying to go for the kill onto the Tiny. And of course, Mizu with 4 braces up probably just isn't gonna die. They won't even bother trying for the Night Stalker. Jhocam actually going to find Jackie here on the onto the TB.
Is drowning.
Back his way out on the Tiny and
Bounty.
keep following him down. Just keep annoying him. Take these creeps away from that Terrorblade, and Jhocam doing a very good job of it.
Yeah, just being a little bit disruptive. Still not enough to fully stop Jackie from getting that build up though, and Boom are still working this map really well. They've got a free bot lane. They've got a free top lane. They've got a free jungle. No forward wards being brought by NGX. And they are finding some openings, so.
Avalanche there, but Jhocam, well, he's put himself in a bit of a precarious situation trying to secure that power rune. X is out, so there's no way out now for Jhocam, and he will accept he is dead. FBZ to take the kill on the Kunkka. It's a 4-2 now, but more importantly, their net worth graph still going very heavily in the favor of Boom. NGXC. To be fair to them, John, we've seen this 3 times in a row now. Losing, not necessarily losing the laning stage, but always having a net worth deficit by this time of the game. And, well, they did win one of the 2 games, so you never know. Then GXC will get X'd up by AlaCrity, or rather FBZ, into an arrow, onto the puck, and the boat will fly in. The Nightmare won't make it in time from Boombui. They've got the mid-puck down. They'll at least try to punish Tims for this. Skem is right behind with the cold embrace in case he needs it. He will survive. FBZ now can move in with Yopaj, and they will find Jhocam. Another kill for their trouble. They'll go into the mid tier 1 tower. And Boom, they might get away with this for free. There's no form of defense coming.
Now, it's going to take a while for NGX to find that presence in these fights. They have the grip from Boombui that they could play with, but they don't really have the best angles to make that work. They have a respawn out, and AlaCrity still has the DD. They could look for maybe a couple of pickoffs, but Boom don't play greedy. In fact, could try onto AlaCrity if he's not careful.
Yeah, just an X back. Just the constant threat, right, of the X into the arrow is what's really going to scare AlaCrity this game. And it's a combination that Boom have just practiced over and over again for what feels like the past year, quite frankly. Previous meta, this was basically their draft every single time. Being the Kunkka and the Mirana, that is. Still, NGX, not too far behind, just 5k net worth behind at the moment, 12 minutes into the game. They'll try to roam into the dire triangle, and they will find Jackie. They'll go right into the Dream Coil and the Fiend's Grip, but Jackie's got the Cold Embrace out. There's the Torrent as well, but FBC going to lock them down. AlaCrity is going to try and back his way out, but he is not going to make it. Eventually being caught out and taken down, and he does.
Yeah, it's just not lining up for the side of NGX. They find a target, they don't have the damage to deal with Jackie, and he's just allowed to build up 5k lead for Boom. A much stronger start across all 3 games. This is probably the best start that Boom has had yet, despite the kill board being relatively even. They're gonna find an early tier 1. They might get pumped though.
They may. Tim's being caught. Yopaj gonna jump in it against Skem. The Cold Embrace really haunting the side of NGXC right now as they are still chasing down this Mirana. Tim's looking for an arrow, for an angle for an arrow, but not gonna find it. Instead, they will jump Jhocam. They'll find the Tiny as Tim's, he is just fine. AlaCrity now the one in danger on the puck as Jackie's even gonna join in. Mizu, he was still chasing down this Mirana that whole time. And he will finally back out of there, but they're going to find Boombui on top. That'll be the Bane to drop, I believe. Yopaj will take it on the Void Spirit. And this Wyvern, Skem, he's doing a great job. Just every time he needs the cold embrace, he's there, and they just can't catch him out, even with the Night Stalker.
And they don't have the magical burst to deal with that. If you have a support Tiny, he's not getting the levels to really instantly burst anyone down. You don't have a blink to threaten as well here for Jhocam. And Boom, just get aggressive. They have 2 cores that can play super fast. The Terrorblade's just allowed to constantly build up. Nothing to threaten him on the backline because there's no instant jump. And AlaCrity's your best bet. And he's just kind of forced to be caught out. Oh.
They see him, John. X arrow. This could be very problematic. They'll start with the torrent first, into the tumblers, the arrow. It actually ends up landing. How does the Tibbs time that?
It's just perfect.
He just timed the creeps going down.
Yeah, they get the perfect alignment there. I mean, Boom's been playing together for a long time. Comms must be a lot of yelling, but it works out in the end. They find another big kill. They're suppressing NGX. Their map has just completely shrunk. No tier 1s left standing here, Mike. No farming area for a Morphling to just play slow and build up. And no presence. Like, AlaCrity can't take these fights yet. He has no damage. He has no blink.
Speaking of AlaCrity, John, the orb away. They know where he's gone. Aether Remnant off the mark, but it gives the vision to get the Yule Scepter into the arrow setup. And Japoy, he won't even look at AlaCrity. Jackie will take the kill on the Terrorblade. 8k advantage now for Boom. I guess this is what happens when they go back to their comfort.
Yeah, I mean, this is something they're known for. Kunkka plus Mirana. This time FBZ instead of Yopaj and Kunkka still works out. Basic combination stays the same. And you have that win condition on Jackie. Yeah, that's this. Again, you don't have the magical burst. Your puck isn't ready to deal with the TB yet with no mobility, easily punishable. And you just play around that fact. I mean, Jackie's just showing up just with the Yasha and the Dragonlance along with the Wraith Band. And it's still too much to deal with. NGX, they have some hold, they have some play, they need to find something.
Jhocam, he's going to try and find something here, John, but he won't be able to get the toss back onto Skem. In fact, now, get used up, might be in a spot of bother. They'll slow him down with the Astral Step, and the X is going to be there. FBZ will join his team, and Yopaj will take another kill. They'll go right back for the outpost. Yeah, things are looking very rough here. Like, you've got a Morphling on your end of things, but Dreamocel, he's going to take a long time to be online. It is a Morphling. 7.31D, John. Is mizu going to go for a run, but what an arrow. Going to block his way, though he will run around. He'll be okay for now, but Skem's incoming. Curse available, but Skem, he won't throw it out yet. NGXC, they'd love to find the Wyvern first, but here comes FBZ from a different path. Onto the Bane they go. They'll try to burst out Boombui, and they've got him already. mizu, he's popped the Dark Ascension, just trying to deal with Skem. They even use the Dream Coil, but they just can't get him. He just presses Cold Embrace, and he's fine. FBZ, you go for an X back into a Torrent. This time they might find Skem, and they will. That'll be one. Yopaj, Dual Scepter around, gonna catch mizu or the Night Stalker. Into the arrow, and well, you got the Wyvern. It just costs you pos 3.
I think if you're NGX, you just take what you can. You're so far behind that these kills still give you a little bit more network than you lose for your trouble. And the big issue for NGX is they can't connect their spells. Like you mentioned it, they get Dream Coil out, they get Dark Ascension. There's no follow through. You don't have a blink in your Tiny, so you can't just go for a single target break or even just the Avalanche on top of the Dream Coil. Your Morphling's not ready to show up. Dreamocel staying very far away from these fights, trying to just farm up and hit this point where the Morphling can maybe do some damage. Still a ways off, and boom, they're just constantly forcing the aggression, just invading triangle looking for more.
They are. Yopaj right in. Would love Boombui another time on the Bane, but instead FBZ going to try for the X, but losing vision. Can't find him. They'll get a ward down eventually, but it's not going to be quick enough. The nighttime just not offering enough vision here to Boom Esports. They do have to back off and maybe go for the top tier 2 tower instead. That's exactly what they'll do. NGXC, they just don't have the answers. Like, your mid puck hasn't worked out, your offlane Night Stalker hasn't worked out, and you've got to pause one more quick. If your side lanes don't work, you just, it's all over. What's happened, John?
I'm looking at Dreamocel's build. He's going for the Ags, Mike. So we will see the new Morphling Ags if it does come true.
What?
I mean, it could be nice, I guess. Spell amp, attack speed on Agi heroes could be good, but it's a long ways away, Mike. And he's only going to have the Yasha to protect. maybe the Scotty on top if he wants, but there's the Yasha into Ags. And we'll see if that timing presents itself. You're 9k behind. Boom has complete map control. All outer towers gone. It's tough.
mizu in danger. Arrow's not going to land this time. But mizu, he doesn't have Dark Ascension, so he can't really get out of this. He's going to try to run his way out, and well, actually, he is still running. Nightmare is there. He is out. Oh, mizu, he'll actually make it. Thanks to Boombui with the Nightmare, of course.
Is about to flow.
Really nice play out from Boombui, just stalling for time. That doesn't stop the high ground here, though, Mike. Jackie pops Meta, has the damage, has the Manta. Towers just melt, and I still don't see a good defensive angle for the side of NGX to take. They have the Blink and Jhocam. They need to find a way to get someone isolated here.
Very, very challenging, though, like you mentioned. This. Oh, they found Jackie. That's a big target. Coil is there. Fiend's Grip, Crippling Fear, everything been thrown, but the Cold Embrace Skem. He's just not going to allow it. Maybe now they take him down, but no, the Manta and the Sunder is there by Jackie in time. You have to kill this Wyvern. You are not killing anyone if Skem is not dead.
Yeah, and he's just staying so far behind in these fights, not presenting himself to NGX, not giving that opportunity for NGX to hold out. Very disciplined from Boom. They just play with his lead, constantly force aggression, knowing that NGX wants to try to play another slow game, and they're not getting it. You have the Manta up on Dreamocel. He's at 7.6k net worth, top of his team, but severely behind Jackie. He's one major item above. They see the Roshan, no metamorphosis, but still going to get into it. They still have the damage to deal with it. They know there's no counterplay here from NGX with Dream Coil down, with the items and the gold they have on hand in comparison. There's just no angle. So they can just take these objectives, no contest, build up, and just work the map. NGX, they have to keep being efficient while they can. And they're forced to surrender Roche, they're forced to surrender outer towers. They need to get something back from that. They need this investment in the Morphling to pay off. Again, Ags Rush. We'll see if that pays off, Mike.
Is this about the TB morph? Like, so here's my theory, right? In fact, hold that thought, John, because bot lane, Yopaj can make the jump in with the Aether Remnant. He's gonna hold down Jhocam. Tiny, we'll see if he can find a way out, but it's looking pretty rough for him as FBZ moves in, and Boombui just gonna accept the fact that he's gonna die. John, here's my theory. He morphs into TB with the Ags. He ends up stealing 20% of the Agi stats, right? So he ends up, is it 20%? No, 50% of the attack speed stolen.
Yes.
Right?
And 20% of his stats, yes.
It still doesn't seem good. Like maybe, it still just doesn't seem good. Who's he morphing into? Or is he morphing? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, I guess he'll just morph into Jackie, use the metamorphosis against him with his stolen stats. That could be nice. Yes, that would be morphing, Mike. We've had this discussion with the one Morphling game we've seen before. It's a morphing hero. But Jackie's not giving that time to morph, just gone to the high ground again, just slow siege, nothing to stop it. He's just standing right there and they can't do anything.
Toss out, but it's not an illusion. Well, I know we've had this convo, John, but you always told me Lycan's the main morbing character. That's why I asked.
He's also morbing, yes. They are all morbers, Mike.
The last time I asked you, you said Morphling wasn't a big morber, as they do get a toss back, but the X is there. Jump in, Jhocam, he's in trouble. Arrow's gonna land. Nightmare will help for a little bit, but not for long. FBZ to take another. Sunder on Skem, but he'll just cold embrace himself. Jackie just wants that reset. Now the X and the boat gonna fly in onto the puck, who has been silenced up. No way to avoid it. Caught by the Aether Remnant. Still going down, but the Nightmare does buy a bit of time. As Jhocam jumps back in onto Yopaj with the toss back, but it's not gonna help out. They'll commit the Dream Coil. But what are you gonna do with it? X is there. Onto the puck again, and this time AlaCrity will be able to avoid it, but boom. They're right into the mid-racks, and they might just go top after. Nothing to stop.
Nothing to stop. Yeah, Dream Coil down. You have the grip at the ready. Dark Ascension was popped from mizu. Your options are really running low here, and boom, it's just a walkover. 5 to 17, 16k lead, looking for more.
Another great catch into the arrow. Nightmare, again, only going to buy so much time. JACKBOYS picks up another. Onto the Bane, Boombui. He's okay. The top racks is not, however.
To see Radiant's top
Backdoor will kick in for a second, but they've got a creep wave on the way through the mid lane. So now 2 racks is down. John, the Boom bother going for a third? You'd think they would, right?
Dire's
Yeah,
top
just
tower
play it
is
safe. No
about
reason not to
take the
push your
blow.
advantage here. No reason to pull back. Just keep going. And NGX, I mean, what do you do? Like, you have the Ags up in Yopaj. It's a 17k lead at 23. It just feels impossible.
Nice avalanche. Toss back onto Jackie. He'll Manta. Has a Sunder. Will get it off. AlaCrity has to walk away as now they've caught Jhocam. Better be a tiny gone. Boom. Oh, there's your curse out. Skem setting up. Is that even... That might be the first curse this game, John. I can't remember another one.
Yep.
There's now the Scotties there. AlaCrity almost getting bursted down as Dreamocel. He'll waveform out just in the nick of time. They'll hold down Yopaj with the Fiend's Grip, but the cold embrace, it just makes it so hard to do anything. Megas are out. Do you just
Wait,
call
4
it?
minutes? I don't see the play here, Mike. Unless they maybe toss someone into Fountain and then do it again and then do it again. That's probably their first course of action. Outside of that, I really don't know. They are smoking out here, though.
Yep. Here we go. Jhocam tosses there the blow up Tims. That's one down. Nice little start here for NGXC. Ascension popped as well. They need to punish as much as possible. Metamorphosis just about to wear out on Jackie, so now's the prime position. Try and force the fight, and Dreamocel will do so, but Japoi right back in after mizu. Wants the Night Stalker gone? I might just have him. mizu, he'll get to the high ground, try to buy himself a little bit more time. Who are they chasing? They'll try out to Skem. Alive, it's still gonna be fine as now Jhocam has been caught out by the X-Folk combination and might just be gone and does go down. Godlike for Japoys. mizu still playing around, trying to pick off Skem. He's got cold embrace up. He's not going to die. Skem is not going to die. GG well played. They've had enough. I'll tell you what, John. This Wyvern pick. This Wyvern pick was perfect this game. They could just do nothing against it.
Yeah, it's a combination of the Wyvern along with Kunkka. You had the boat buff have to deal with. You have the cold embrace to deal with. They were way too durable on Boom Sand for an NGX. And I don't think their draft